Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and behind me here are a couple of Mazda CX-90s. Now these are the 2024 models, and on the one side I have the PHEV. Now that's going to be the plug-in hybrid. And on the other side I have a fully loaded 3.3 Turbo S Premium Plus. So we're going to look at all the equipment you can get, the different engine options, and see which CX-90 might be right for you. Okay, so like I said, this is the 2024 model. Now, this one in particular is pretty unique. This is going to be the PHEV, so that stands for plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So what that means is a combined range of 56 mpge. So you are going to get amazing fuel economy out of this version, and if you want, you can plug in and charge at home or at a level 2 charger, and that's going to get you 26 miles of pure electric range. Maybe that's enough to get you to the grocery store, picking up the kids, running around town. That's a pretty cool feature to have. That's going to help save some money at the pump. Now, not to worry, because this is a hybrid vehicle. It's a plug-in, but it also has the standard gas engine. So if you run out of battery, you just still have a CX-90 that you can still travel around by filling up the gas tank, which is going to eliminate some of that range anxiety. Now, every Mazda CX-90 is going to come in an all-wheel drive trim. Now, that's a very smart all-wheel drive system, and it's actually rear-wheel biased. Mazda wanted this vehicle to be fun to drive, so they didn't want to stick with the standard front-wheel drive SUV platform. They wanted to have that rear bias, so it feels like you're in a Miata, even though you're in Mazda's largest SUV. So now both CX-90s have the same 21-inch wheel. It's kind of a black inlet with a polished face, and it looks so good. Now this is the Artisan Red Metallic, and it is a stunning color in person. It matches very nicely with the wheels and the gray interior that's in this one, and as well, that other CX-90 has a beautiful interior. But let's start by hopping over to that one and looking at some exterior features. Okay, now on this CX-90, again, this is the Turbo S with the Premium Plus, so this is as fully loaded as you can get, and it is an amazing vehicle. Now, it's an inline 6, and it's Mazda's first 3.3-liter turbocharged engine. Now, that's going to give you 340 horsepower, but you do sacrifice a little bit with the fuel economy. Now, it does have a hybrid system with this engine, so that is going to help you out a little bit, plus it's going to give you a little bit of extra get up and go when you're on the road, and I cannot explain how much fun this vehicle is. Now, a few other things to consider when you're looking at the CX-90. There's a 6, a 7, and an 8-passenger version. So this one's going to be the 6, and that one is going to be the 7. That's going to give you 3 across in the 3rd row, and then a bucket seat in that one. This one does have the captain seats in the middle, and it also has a removable center console, which is pretty nice to have. Now, as far as comfort and ride and drive goes, both are going to drive very similar. The EV model is very zippy with that electric power behind it, and when you're in only electric mode, it's dead silent on the road, and it's super comfortable, and again, it's fun to drive because you do get a lot of instant torque with an electric motor, so that makes it a great option. Plus, with this 3.3 turbo, it's kind of the same way. It's very zippy, it's very quick, and it actually makes a pretty good noise. So the interiors are really the shining point for me when looking at the CX-90, so let's hop back over to the Artisan Red one and we'll take a peek at that interior. Okay, so inside the PHEV, it's running right now. You can see on the dash it's in the EV mode, so that's going to be full electric, and then when it runs out of charge or it feels like it needs to jump back up, you'll hear the gasoline engine take over, and there also is a regenerative system. So not only can you plug this one in, but it will regenerate power as you're braking or driving around to help build some of that battery life back up, and again, to help you get 56 miles per gallon E, which is a pretty cool feature. Now this one, as far as the infotainment is concerned, it's going to be identical to the one we have over there. You're going to have wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. You're going to have navigation built into this. So a few other things in this model, you are going to keep the dual climate control, as well you are going to have heated seats in the premium model. Now I love this leather wrap shift knob and steering wheel. It's super comfortable, the leather feels great in here, and these seats are also extremely comfortable. Now it is going to be power seats for the driver as well as the passenger, and again, you could do a bunch of miles in these seats, and they are very comfortable for not only the driver and the passenger, but also that 2nd row. So now, like I said, in the 2nd row of this vehicle, this one's configured to seat 7. So you're gonna have the 3 seats in the back and then the captain's chairs in the 2nd row. Now this one isn't gonna have the armrest, it's just gonna have a small cup holder that kind of flips out, but you do still get USB charging in the back as well as a 3rd zone climate control, so the rear passengers can pick their temperature settings. Now, let's talk about safety. Obviously, if you're looking at a third row SUV, you're probably gonna have your family in the car and you wanna make sure everyone is safe when you're on the open road. This has a ton of different driver assistance systems. There's safety alerts, collision avoidance, driver attention alerts, parking sonar in both models, and it's gonna be pretty consistent across both of these. The blind spot monitoring, this one also is going to have the adaptive cruise control system. There's a ton of features in here, like I said, to keep you safe when you're behind the wheel, and that's very important. Mazda wants you to remain focused on the road ahead, and there's also going to be a heads-up display in here to make sure you're doing just that. Now, a few other things as far as luxury is concerned. This one has the panoramic sunroof as well as the fully loaded one. That is an excellent feature, especially if you're having kids in the back. It really opens it up and it makes it a lot brighter and more airy in here, especially with the lighter, kind of a, I don't want to call it a beech wood, but it does have kind of a lighter wood look in here in the lighter seats. It's actually a really gorgeous, well thought out interior. But let's hop over to the other version of the CX-90. We'll check out that interior. Okay, so now we're in the 3.3 Turbo S Premium Plus, and immediately this vehicle feels like it competes more with a BMW and an Audi, where the regular PHEV seems like it would go ahead of a Honda or a Toyota comparison. This is a gorgeous interior. It's a black and light brown two-tone. The seats are super comfortable and they're heated as well as being ventilated in this model. It's hot today, so that air-conditioned or ventilated seats is one of the best features on a day when it's like 90 degrees out. It's really hard to give that feature up. But another cool thing on this steering wheel, this is also going to be heated. And again, it's the two-tone and it's absolutely gorgeous in here. There's kind of an Alcantara or a suede on the dash here, and there's a few other really cool options when looking at the interior of these. But this is the way I would configure mine. I cannot say enough how good it looks in here. And again, the large infotainment screen. So there's a couple different options. There's a little bit bigger than a 10-inch and a little bit over a 12-inch screen. So the larger screen here, when you pair this with your Apple CarPlay or the navigation or anything else, the icons are very large, and then everything is controlled down here through your multimedia controller, which is pretty easy to get a hold of. And there's also buttons here, and it makes it very simple when you're on the go. So another thing I forgot to mention, the other one, both are going to come with a wireless phone charger. So like I said, it's wireless CarPlay. So I put my phone on there, it's charged up when I'm on the go. Plus you are going to have some USB plugs if you need them for the front and the rear passengers. It's a high-class vehicle in here. If you didn't know what vehicle you got in, you wouldn't be fooled to think you were in a $100,000 German luxury SUV. Okay, so now this is going to be the 6-passenger configuration. 2 in the back for the third row, and then the captain's chairs, and then this one is going to have that really nice center console. Now the rear passengers are going to get cooled and heated seats as well in the back, which is pretty amazing. Whether it's the kids or you're going out on date night, everybody is going to be comfortable no matter where you're going. Now, as far as storage is concerned, if you're not hauling the family around, you need a little bit of extra space. Those second and third rows can fold down. The second row can slide. You can move them around. There's a ton of different ways you can configure hauling stuff and bringing people along, or just laying it all flat and having a ton of room that way. Okay, so there's a few different drive modes in here as well. So the My Drive or MI Drive, it's gonna have sport, normal, and off-road. It's kind of nice that you can dial in your driving style. And again, like I said, this 3.3 inline-6 turbo makes a pretty nice noise coming out of the back. Like I said, this definitely feels like it competes more out of its class, whether that's through Audi, BMW, or Mercedes. And you're gonna get great fuel economy, great looks on the exterior as well, and a ton of equipment on the interior, which makes this a great option. Now, when comparing the two, where's the big difference? Obviously, this one's going to be quite a bit more expensive, but you are getting quite a bit more equipment in here. That one obviously is going to get the better fuel economy, as this one's only rated at about 28 mpg on the highway. That one, again, combined is going to give you about 56 mpge. This does have that hybrid system, which is going to help give you a boost and kind of help that out. But again, you do sacrifice in a few places, but overall, both of them are going to be pretty close. This one, the digital display is amazing in here as well. That one, I love the idea of having a hybrid system with the plug-in, so you can get 26 miles of range. Like I said, that might cover you for most of your days, and if you're saving all that money at the fuel pump, it's gonna pay for itself in no time. So whether it's the good looks on the exterior that's gonna remain the same, or the amazing equipment that's on the inside of both of these vehicles, if you're shopping for a third row SUV, the Mazda CX-90 is absolutely one you're gonna have to check out. Okay, so that was just a brief look at a couple of 2024 Mazda CX-90s. Now, if you'd like more information to schedule a test drive, you can stop by either one of our Mazda locations or visit us online at walser.com. Thanks for watching.